DC Multiverse!
How's it going, super friends? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm here to review these two guys. DC's classic, hot-headed, high-tempered, big-egoed Green Lantern chucklehead, Guy Gardner, and the yellow ring version of the character from the 90s. Both of these guys came in the usual McFarlane packaging, and you can see the figures right on the inside. As you walk down the toy aisle, you'll be like, yes, oh yes, that's Guy Gardner. And it is really neat that we have that 90s Guy Gardner to add to our collection. For the back of the boxes, they have the exact same picture, but man, it would have been cool if they had used an accurate picture of yellow ring Guy Gardner. Out of the package, we could see that both figures come with an array of the exact same accessories. We could see that each guy comes with their own correspondingly colored, comically small power battery. Like seriously, don't expect to give your newly drained ring a full charge off this bad boy. You're looking at maybe a half charge at best. Here it is compared to the regular size lanterns. I mean, why is it so small? And they each come with their own toupees that are exactly the same. They also each come with 3 face plates. One that looks kind of cheeky, one that looks serious, and one with his mouth wide open. And each figure also comes with an array of various hands. But now that we've looked at all that stuff very briefly, I'm going to take a look at each figure individually, starting with Green Lantern Guy Gardner. This is a Green Lantern figure that I was really waiting for. And I was waiting for it so much that I may have actually made my own custom version of this figure because I was perhaps a little impatient. See, I made this one here using an array of different parts from different McFarlane figures. Heck, I even used the sleeveless jacket from a DC Universe Classics Guy Gardner. All things considered, I don't think it turned out too bad, but this new one with all original and accurate parts is definitely better. Thanks, McFarlane. What parts are original, you might ask? Well, let's take a closer look. For one, his booties. Those are accurate to Guy Gardner. Those are original sculpts. Along with his Guy gauntlets. Those gloves are accurate to and original sculpts for the character. And of course, his jacket. This jacket is brand new to Guy Gardner as well. Never been used before. And so is the head and facial sculpt, also brand new. Man, can I get a hell yeah for how clean and crisp this lantern symbol is on Guy's chest? This is really nice. And Guy's face sculpts are pretty darn cool. I really like this one, the basic Guy Gardner no-nonsense facial sculpt. And of course, not to be forgotten is the smirking face, one that I think actually looks better when on the Green Lantern head sculpt. And then we have the open mouth one, which, you know, it's, well, his mouth is open.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I will say one issue with Guy Gardner that I wish was a little different is the fact that even when you push his hair on his head nice and tight, you still end up with this spot right here. Does that annoy anybody else? That definitely is something that once I've seen it, I can't unsee it. And it just looks like he's wearing a wig. Like, I'm sure if I really wanted, I could push this down, jam my thumb under his chin, push that down, and I could glue it. And just glue it down closer. But I don't want to have to do that in case I want to change his hair. I guess I have to wait until I get a new guy, another one, and then I can have each one, you know, permanently placed. You take off his hair though, woo, he's got a little knob on top of his head. He's a knobhead. Here's the inside of the toupee that sticks to his head. It's got a little spot to receive Guy's knob end. And then here is his Three Stooges Mo toupee. And we just go, right Guy, stand still. Just gonna plop this on your head. And then ta-da! Now he's got his classic bowl cut. Man, nothing beats that bowl cut on Guy. For some reason, it just really made him look like such a douche. And to be honest, he acted like a douche a lot. So the haircut kind of matched. You know, he thought he was so cool, but meanwhile, dude had a bowl cut. Like a literal actual bowl cut. Now I'm actually going to wait until I do the other Guy figure to do the articulation. So let's do that. But first, let's have a quick little peek at the trading card, because it's a Green Lantern card and we're looking at Green Lantern. And also because I just straight up forgot to mention that he also comes with a trading card, but everyone knows that, right? Everyone knows that they all come with trading cards. There's a Guy on the front looking angry, perturbed, pissed off even. And then the back, we have that ever-present data file bio, which of course, if you have the fancy to be tickled, you can pause the video and read it if you'd like to. Oh yeah, and before we move on, I suppose I should show you a comparison with Guy Gardner and all the rest of the McFarlane Green Lanterns, or at least a selection of the McFarlane Green Lanterns. There's been a couple Hals out, so, you know, I'm just going to show you one Hal, for the hell of it, never mind. Stupid joke. You've been looking at him. You get the idea. Now let's move on to the yellow ring version of Guy Gardner. This was the version of Guy Gardner that was chumming around during the time when Superman was killed and brought back to life, and Batman had his back broken, and Aquaman became Hook Hand Aquaman. This was a very 90s version of a very fun character. Seeing this one and the other one side by side, you can see they literally reused every single part. There is not one single newly sculpted piece, which I guess for me, as far as I'm concerned, is fine. It would be kind of neat if they had have actually made new molds for his boots, because Guy Gardner wore biker boots / cowboy boots. And if they had have actually sculpted Guy some brand new sleeve arms, because you can see you've got the part of his gloves right here. So they really just molded his other arms in blue plastic. So even though the G on his chest looks really good, and I really like the color palette they've chose with the lighter blue and the darker blue, and I think overall the figure does actually look really, really nice, I still see this as kind of a half-effort figure. Like, I do realize that this was the only way we were going to get 90s Guy Gardner in this series of figures, and it will likely be also the only other 90s Guy Gardner figure that at least I've ever seen. What do you mean other, Brad? Well, look at this little guy right here. This was from the DC Infinite Heroes line. Man, this guy is tough to stand up. And dude, he is dusty. Hold on a second. Let me just... It's not coming off. Maybe that's just plastic fatigue, like it's old. Anyway, let's stand him up. There, come on, little guy. Little mini me, little mini guy, mini him. Oh boy. Yeah, I gotta stand him on this here. It doesn't want to... Well, that's as good as it gets, dudes. That's it. You're looking at it. Other than these two, I don't think that there's ever been a 90s Guy Gardner figure with his yellow ring lantern suit before. I think that these two are it. I think. Here is Guy with an array of 90s style characters. Pretty awesome. The 90s was a fantastic and weird and wonderful time for comic books, and Guy Gardner was no exception to that rule. And really, the last thing to do then now is the articulation. So let's do that. His head sculpt is on a ball joint, and so that will enable us to have some motion left and right. He can look down a little bit, and then you can also look up and back a little bit. The torso, I'm not sure if it has anything in there. I'm trying, but nothing is moving. So I guess I'm just going to assume right now that there's no articulation piece in there. And if there is, it's not useful. But then, of course, the waist has... Whoa, I did it. I always just yank the characters in half. I guess we can see what's going on underneath, though. I mean, I don't know. It just looks like a regular body. I'm really going to push it. I pulled his arm off. This is not going well. Sorry, Guy. You're looking like one of the robots from the Alien franchise. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know for sure. Oh, while we're at it, we can see, look at that. It's using the same belt that Red Tornado used and Hawkman used. Same trunks piece. All right, let's put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And let's do his arm articulation. That's the T he gets. About it. You got the rounded hinge, you got the bicep swivels, we know what those are going to do, so I don't want to bother with that. We got the double jointed elbows that I always check. I want to see how much they crunch down. He can flex like a friggin' douche canoe. He's got, there we go, look at that. Look at me, I'm a buff motherfucker. And then down here, of course, we shouldn't be expecting anything else because we've seen this so many times. We know what that is. What does he, will he, can he get for this? And yet, nothing. You can see that. There's nothing happening there. Just a whole lot of nothing. But out, sure. And oh, I pulled him apart again. That's the thing. That's happened twice now. And then, wow, stay together. Stay together. Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together, guy. Keep it together. You got the legs that go forward that far, because if you push him any further, he falls apart like that. Friggin', that's great. Super quality. And then we have it going back like that, and that's it. So, you know, if you want him to get into a flight pose, I mean, you can do that, but just don't expect him to kick someone in the face because his legs just won't do it. And of course, you can see we have them double jointed knees there doing their thing, which McFarlane always does a good job of. And then we have the heel. No, not the one in the same heel that you find in the ring in the WWE, but his actual foot there, and he has the rounded hinge, and it's obviously a pivot, and we have the toe articulation. Toe articulation. I'm talking like a robot. Right. So what do I think about these two figures? Do I like them or do I loathe them? Are they good or are they garbage? Well, the short answer for me is that I really like the look of these figures. They're fantastic, and they're going to be great accessories to the collection that I already have. However, the caveat is if you're someone that really does want a lot of posability in your figures, these guys are not it. You can't go into this expecting them to be able to pull off some dynamic poses, because the cold hard reality here is that Guy Gardner has had every single vertebrae in his spine fused together during a 7-hour-long surgery because he can't bend down. And he can't lift his legs too high because then all the work from the 7-hour surgery just comes to nothing because he breaks in half and he dies and his intestines fall out and they go all over the floor and they look like a string of sausages. Anyway, that's all from me. Have yourself a super awesome, fantastic DC day, everybody, and take care. Bye!